Hi everyone, thank you for liking and accepting my invite to my polymyositis bringing awareness page. 14 years ago, I was diagnosed with polymyositis when I was 19. When I was 18, I was just, a regular 18-year-old, vibrant, going everywhere, doing everything. I was a full-time college student, working two jobs, small town girl trying to eventually leave one day, which, as you can see, happened but didn't happen due to the polymyositis. My body slowly started to shut down, and I thought that, you know, I was just tired. Being a college student, working two jobs, I figure, one thing needs to be taken off of my list and still trying to have an active social life, as a young person. And so, but I was like, no, I just need to rest more in between, maybe not hang out as much with my friends and just, slow down a little bit. Well, one day my body literally could not do anymore, because it started out as I can't get out of this seat, or I can't go up and down these stairs. Then it started being weird things as small as I can't even open a pickle jar, just simple things, trying to tie my shoe, just basic things that you take for granted every day was becoming difficult for me. But like I was saying, one day my body couldn't fight anymore. I literally was getting dressed to go to work and went to put my shirt over my head, and my body collapsed. And against, my mother's will, she was been tried to get me to go, to the doctor and see what was wrong, because I hardly ever got sick, like ever. And she was like, something's wrong, you need to go to the doctor. But I didn't want to. I just was like, I just need to take a couple of things off my list. Well, that day she's like, that's it, I'm taking you to the emergency room. And she had to literally pick me up off the floor, put me in the car. We got to the hospital. They ran a multitude of tests, every test you could think of. And when it was coming back, they were just like, you need to prepare for the worst, because either your daughter has cancer or something, worse, we don't know. Things aren't looking good. They ran a test that's called CPK, and for a normal person, the CPK count is between like 50 to 200. I think they might have dropped it now down to 150. I'm not sure. But when I was diagnosed, mine was at 20,000. So for a normal person, 200 or below, I was at 20,000. And they pretty much were saying I wasn't going to walk again. I had to relearn everything. I had to relearn how to walk. I had to relearn how to go up and down stairs. I had to relearn how to dress myself without assistance. If we keep it real, I had to relearn everything as if I was a child. And when I say it was a shock to my world, I knew my world was slowing down, but I just thought I was doing too much. But apparently not. And so they said they needed to do a deep tissue muscle biopsy. That was going to determine what I had. Was it cancer? Was it lupus? Was it whatever disease? So the test results come back from the muscle biopsy, and it confirmed I have polymyositis. And when you break it down in the medical world, poly means many, myo means muscle, itis means inflammation. So inflammation of many muscles. And they say it targets the trunk, your core. So everything from your shoulder to your hip, from your hip to your knee, which I really think that they need to redo that definition because it affects everything from your head to your feet, not just the core. Polymyositis also targets your lungs and your heart. Hence, this. I've been on oxygen now for the last 3.5 years. A lot of people don't know that because I choose to first let them see me before they see this. Because a lot of times they'll see this and the only thing that's going through their mind is, what does she have? Is she dying? Is, like, what's going on? What's wrong with her? Instead of actually listening to what I have to say. But I'll get more into detail about the reason why I'm on the oxygen. The oxygen is an offset to the polymyositis because of the interstitial lung disease. Polymyositis is the base. Then it leads to interstitial lung disease, which then leads to pulmonary hypertension. And that's the stage that I'm in now, the pulmonary hypertension, which eventually one day, hopefully not in the near future, I will have to have a lung transplant because it's going to take a toll on my heart. And we don't want that. So, but I just wanted to get on here, give a brief summary of how old I was, which is very young, diagnosed at 19. It started when I was 18, but diagnosed at 19. And that's very rare because at that time when I was diagnosed, it was only heard of for people over 50. Then they dropped it to people over 30. And yet I am still known as, one of the youngest ones. And then, I've had 3 pregnancies. And so that's also something that I'll be talking about later, which is really like unheard of in my disease. So, just wanted to do a basic introduction, a basic little backdrop. You'll be hearing more. I'm also going to be on 101.5 on Sunday from 3 to 4. But I'll be posting more information about that, about me being on the radio, being interviewed, being able to answer more questions. I want to do a live video with everyone, so that way in real time you can ask me questions and I can answer them as best as I can, because polymyositis is not the only disease under the myositis hat. There's also inclusion body myositis, dermamyositis, and juvenile myositis. And I want to bring awareness to those as well. And one disease that I did not know about that was brought to my attention that is in conjunction with 2 other diseases, including the polymyositis, is called connective tissue disease, which my cousin Gina was diagnosed with a few years back. And I would love for her to do a video, so we'll see if she'll do it and she can explain what she's going through, because I understand the polymyositis side, but the other 2 diseases that present itself with the polymyositis, I'm curious to learn about as well. And yes, my page is to bring awareness to polymyositis all month because this is myositis month for the month of May. I also want to bring awareness to any disease that is unseen or unheard, because a lot of people can understand diseases that you can see. You can see them in a wheelchair. You can see these things. But when you look like this, they don't understand. They don't see, like, what do you mean you have this or that? And so, just want to bring it, tell it, inspire, be encouraged. I want to hear stories. I want to tell my story, and hopefully, save someone's life, save someone's pain that they're going through, acknowledge them. And so let's try to get it moving in May. I'll keep posting, and y'all have a good day.